One day, George the steamroller was waiting for Percy to take him to a new workplace. George was being rude to Rheneas and Skarloey. "You're just worn-out wheels on worn-out rails. You need rocks for your roads," replied Skarloey, "and we're helping you." "I need to flatten little engines in the scrapyard," retorted George. Then Percy arrived to take George away. He was still rebelling. "Railways are no good. Turn them into roads." The little engines were pleased to see him go. "Rollers are rubbish, so good riddance," they called. George grumbled all the way to the old branch line. He was going to turn it into a road. When they arrived, George was rude again. "Bumpy ride on rotten rails. I'm glad it's over." "So am I," said Percy. "Huh," puffed George. Percy was still fuming when he met Thomas. "What's up, Percy?" "It's George. He makes me feel down." "Just ignore him," puffed Thomas. George was now enjoying himself. "Ripping up rails," he chortled. "What a life!" "What do you think of this, Thomas?" Thomas took no notice. George felt insulted. "You're a useless blue puffball," he shouted. But Thomas didn't hear. "I'll show him who's boss." At last the workmen reached the level crossing. "What shall we do here?" "Tear it up, tarmac it," said George. So they did, but not properly, and George knew it too. Later, Thomas was travelling home on the same line. He was pulling trucks filled with vegetables. The signalman had forgotten to warn his driver about the crossing. "That's nice, we don't need to stop," said Thomas happily. "Yes, we do," called his driver, but it was too late. Next day, Percy told Gordon all about George. "Huh," snorted Gordon. "You're just a small engine, that's why he's rude to you. He wouldn't dare cause me any trouble." George had been taken to some yards to work. As he was chuffering about, Duck arrived with a train of empty trucks. George was blocking his way, and a truck was stuck on the main line. "Let me through," demanded Duck. "I'm too busy. You'll just have to wait." "There's no time to wait. I must clear my trucks from the main line to let Gordon through." "Pah," said George. "Then he'll have to wait too." Duck's driver went to complain to the station master, but the signalman had already switched the points and set the signal to allow Gordon to speed through. His passengers were singing his praises, and he was making express time. "I'm the greatest, just watch me fly by," he whistled long and loud as he approached the station. Suddenly he saw a truck on the line ahead. "Get out of my way!" But the truck wouldn't move. Until Gordon forced it. By accident. Gordon was worried that the Fat Controller would be cross. He was, but not with Gordon. "Whoever caused this disturbance will have me to answer to." And he did, a few days later. "Look who's here," said Thomas. George had been found out by the Fat Controller and punished. He looked miserable. "Now we'll get some peace at last," said Percy. "I want to get rolling again, but I've got to wait a whole week till I do." "And then you'll be just as rude as ever. Eh, George?" "I hope not, don't you?"